What do we got going on here today? We are hanging out. I'm doing a little co-working. I don't have a camera on at all right now. Plus, do you want me to turn the camera on? You talk about the Ranger cam downstairs? I'm not sure. You gotta let me know. Oh, that's just an old D-Link. I mean, that thing's probably, I don't know, 10 years old. It's an old D-Link, like a webcam, like security cam. And then it just points at Ranger downstairs, and then it comes and passes through as an iframe to a Grafana page. So hold on. Yeah, this is just iframes being passed through right here to a Grafana system. Nothing special. Just an internal IP, and you hit the mjpeg.cgi and it runs. Most modern cameras have this, and then you can just hit them. And what I used to do in the lab was I ran this other software called ZoneMinder. And I probably should start ZoneMinder up again in the home here. But ZoneMinder is this really awesome, just open source surveillance, and it can track everything. I probably need to set that up with just some general cameras around my house in general. But the cool thing is with ZoneMinder, you can just see, it'll take all your cameras like this, and it'll look like one of those things in a movie where you'll just have like 30 cameras on one screen if you want. So I used to run a ZoneMinder here, but I only had the one camera, so it wasn't like super special or anything. But it is a good little tool. And so look, they have a version of it that you can run, or you might just be able to download. Let's see if they have just the, here's a source. They used to have it where you could just download it directly from the, let's see. Oh. They moved their distro. All right. So it's in EPEL, and then you got to do the RPM fusion. Enable CRB, no GPG check, and then set it and run it. Honestly, we could just run it on one of our boxes in the environment. We got, but that's, that's something that we could do in the lab. That would be a fun little one. I mean, the Ranger Cam works fine for what it is, but it's on a very, very old version of Grafana that's not supported anymore. So really, this is what we call like end of life. This monitor is just something that we keep track of for now for fun. Ranger's also very end of life, and while we love Ranger, he's old, man. He's very old. Yeah, plus nice. Yeah. I used to actually run, I had a Raspberry Pi 1 that used to run for Ranger Cam back when I first started streaming. And I have like 10 Raspberry Pis all over my house here. I just haven't been setting them up in the last few years. I used to always use them for RetroPis. I got a whole bunch of ROMs, and I can just... I said ROMs, ROMS. Anyways, I have a whole bunch of those set up to, when we do retro game night over here, and everybody can just come over and play. Ranger's down there. Ranger's hanging out. I see him down there. But what we have going on today in general, you guys can hit, let's see, what did I change here? Okay, yeah. You guys can do !AI and send information in to ask our little llama. We've got a Quinn 2.5 running. We can kind of see what QWEN 2.5 model running that helps people code. And then we have on the top left just a bunch of Linux stuff, right? And it'll tell you probably that it can't assist with the weather. Yeah. It's not a very smart one, and it's designed, it even tells you, it's like, I can't handle all kinds of things. Like, I asked it yesterday, what's the highest temperature ever recorded on Earth? And it was like, well, I'm not a meteorologist, but probably some of them could help you out with some of that stuff. And I was like, okay. So it's not, it's a trained model. It's mostly for closed. It's really good for, like if you said, I think there's a little timeout on it. If I said, AI, can you write me a Python for loop? pretty sure if I did something like this, let's give it a second here. Let's see if this thing can write me a Python for loop. That one's chewing up a lot more. You see how much more processing is going on there? And then it iterates over. And now it's giving us the output with the new line characters on it. But if we were to look at that in like a... I believe if we were to look at that here... no, it's still going to show it raw. Okay. Yeah, so I was going to say I thought it would show it in a little bit better, but it didn't. Yeah, that's what it does. It kind of just answers little stuff like that. Plus R said you need to wait for the gods to optimize the general modules. Yeah, we're going to get one of those digits thing for the home lab here and let people run that eventually. Oh, guys, I got to go check something real quick. Hold on. Let me go check my... I'm kind of co-working right now, so I got to keep an eye on some of my other windows here for Slack. Give me a second here. Getting pinged on Slack. Oh shit. I missed that this morning. All right. That's not too bad. Yeah, we're gonna get one of those little digits things in here eventually, though. But we'll get some stuff going, and the labs are coming along. I was messing around earlier on putting together the Linux automation. Setup where we could start to track. Hold on a second. Got people messaging me over here. Oh, excuse me. Oh, I just realized something that I set up years ago is still happening. So what happens is when somebody makes an outage in this production system I work on, we send the, it's actually really funny, we send this Mike Wazowski eye to each other. And then it has to sit there and look at you until you make a mistake again. That's actually kind of funny. And then when somebody else makes a mistake, you get to email or you get to mail it over to them. There you go. So, is this monitor 4K? I don't actually know. This is like a 35-inch. I run a 35-inch HP. I'm pretty sure this could handle some kind of 4K maybe. I don't know. I don't run anything specifically for 4K, so I don't know. Malvi. So, I mean, could it? I mean, I'm pretty sure this thing could. This is a pretty high-end monitor. I had bought these originally for my son a while back, but he doesn't use them anymore, so now I got them for me. Oh my god, I gotta stop this Slack from dinging. It's like as soon as I start streaming, Slack just starts going crazy. And they're not even talking to me, it's just that I'm in the thread, you know? It's kind of funny. Slack is just blowing up right now. And then if you're ever, I don't know if any of you guys use Slack, but if you don't have yourself set to like do not disturb, Slack will ping for literally every single thing in a thread that you're in. So I'm in a thread and it's just dropping every single alert to me. All right. Should be getting better, I think, hopefully. I think I can set that to not disturb me anymore. All right, I think that's better. Oh, Malvi, I have it in my I have it in the Discord. What my monitor setup looks like. If you go to like Home Lab, hold on, Home Lab chat, I think. Go up a little bit. My monitors look like. So I was changing I was moving from one room of my house to the other, and this is what my lab setup looks like right now. This is like what I'm sitting there and looking at right now. Is those are about 30. Pretty sure these are 35s, and then I just have my monitor in the middle for my laptop. So yeah, I use multiple monitors set up, and then my wife's setup is back here behind, which I think is this one. This is my wife's setup here. This was before I did like my cable management and made this look nice. And what you guys can't tell right here, but you can kind of see right here, is this monitor sits on a swivel. So this monitor right here is on a little round plate, and I can turn this monitor 180 degrees either side, either way. There's no cords or anything hanging this monitor up, so I can turn it like all the way over, so my wife could be sitting over here in her chair and look at it. So that's kind of like that's my monitor setup. And then I think there's our servers. That's all our servers. They're a little dusty. I need to go clean them out. I think I have one more little thing from the lab, because I think people were asking questions about them a while ago, so I was just showing kind of like the home lab and the home monitor setup and stuff. Oh yeah, then there's my wife's beanbag chair so she'll sit right here, and then this is my stuff over here, right? And then I can rotate this monitor out this way so that she can watch it, and then I'll just roll my chair over here, or I'll sit by her on that beanbag. This is a pretty big beanbag chair right here. So that's that's how we hang out. Then she sits over here and plays video games on her computer, mostly like Spider Solitaire and stuff. And then this was me showing the swivel base, so people could see that this thing rotates like a little dinner plate. I think it's actually designed for you to like rotate like food on, but I bought it to just rotate my monitor, you know. So that was me showing that. I don't think I have any other cool pictures in the home lab here. Other cool pictures from other people doing other cool stuff, but not necessarily me. And there's I think our alert saying that we came live. Yeah. So yeah, that's there. I can actually hold on. I can move this stuff. Let me pull up, because I am technically on live right now. I can't turn my camera on. Although we're not really doing much right now, so it doesn't really matter, I guess, if I have my camera on or not. But yeah, we'll just leave the camera off because we're not really doing anything. If I'm like focusing on something, we'll do the camera. I mean, I could pull up another monitor. We could keep building stuff in the home lab if people wanted to. I have stuff to build out for, I have to pull this stuff up and start working in these labs and building these labs out, because I do want to get more of these labs built. Also, it looks like I have something down here that's changed that I haven't finished yet. Monitoring with alert man. Yeah, this one's not published yet or finished yet. The monitoring with alert manager. So I have this one set up, but I don't think it's in the normal. Oh yeah. Yeah, this has never been pushed up. I was working on this last week. Oh, I never finished this one. But this one's gonna have to wait because we're not we're not done with or we gotta do the other part first. So excuse me. Alright, we got Prometheus up, we got that. Okay. This one's pretty close to being set up. However, this one I need to finish the alert manager part. And then there's another part to this. So over here on the Linux labs, I need to make a new version of, where is it? I need to make a new version of this Linux monitoring one with logs, and this one's going to specifically have Loki do PKI, so using certificates to communicate. And then I also have to make, I need to make another one, which is going to take this one here, our syslog, and make him also change to, instead of being just regular r syslog, it's going to be r syslog with, what's that called? The same with certificates as well. So I have to do both of those. So that's something we could do right now, but I'm not really super interested in working too hard, so I probably won't do that right now. We could just kind of hang out and ask questions. We have the ability. We could run the normal. We've got a set of Socratic questions and answers that we could use, and we could drop that over on the right side, and we could answer questions and drop them in here like this. Like, hey Akshanya, how's it going over on the YouTube side? We could do stuff like answer cat proc, stuff like this, and send it through. Uh-oh. We're back to a broken set of colors. I think that the new version of Colchus's thing is missing colors again. I'll have to let him know. Certain things, something's missing. Let's go look at that real quick. I know I fixed this on some of the other ones. I think we're missing something. I'm gonna go compare that to the old one. So I do a lot of that color crap. Changing colors. That looks close. What's wrong here? We're definitely missing. What are we missing here? Because this one was working. I mean, that one looks right. That one looks right. Oh, wait. 033, 032. Yeah, no, that looks right. 033, 0M, 0M, 33, 0M. Yeah, no, that looks right. Or they look the same anyways, but they're not doing the right thing, so. Not sure. So user. I think I fixed this, but I've blown away the version in which I fixed it, so I'm not 100% sure. I'm not going to run it down again. Let's go see. Oh wait, is that from the? Hold on. It's interesting that it did that, but then it still found. Let's go look at what it's doing down here. Using random printf. Good one. Then it's still. It overwrites when you pop up the VI in a screen session. Oh well, doesn't matter that much. We'll let it ride. We'll see if it gets too much in the way or not. If not, we'll go back to my original one, which isn't that big of a deal. I'm not really super worried about that. As far as that goes, but yeah, Akshanya, we're just kind of hanging out, not working too hard. I've got some stuff pulled up on the bottom right there. I was thinking about starting and doing some other stuff and getting ready maybe for what we're doing this weekend in the security group, but we're just kind of hanging out for now. I might take. Yeah, we'll figure it out. All right, what's going on here? Go check my Slack server that wants to keep alerting me to everything. All right. Need to figure out a way in here to just say like, hold on, pause notifications for an hour there, Slack. No, I don't need to hear from you for a little bit. All right, that looks all right. There's Ranger down there. Guys, it's 100. I think it got to 100 and something today. Let's go look. It says it's 99 right now in Glendale, so it's going to hit 100 today. So, yeah, Phoenix is pretty hot. We're pretty hot up here. This part of the country. All right. Well, maybe I'll leave that running in the background. I guess I could start working on this for now. Gives me something to do here. What I need to do though is come over here. Grab any one of these, it doesn't matter. Go over here to Killer Coda. And we'll go down here, creator. Go mess with this a little bit. All right. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go set up the basic little server here for our syslog, right? Get our syslog running. Where's that at? I don't have it right here. Yeah, our syslog. So we'll get our syslog up, and then we'll take some notes on it. Make sure I got my notes here. Yeah. And then we'll go check and run and build the version that takes TLS. So your team has determined that they need centralized logging in the environment. There's a STIG for that, so that's good. So we're gonna make sure our syslog's on this box. Go do that real quick. Oh my gosh, come on, man. System's like frozen. Okay, so our syslog is on the box on both, and not that it strictly matters, but they're the same. And then we're gonna go ahead and make sure they're on. So it is on, and it is on over here. Good. I kind of want to make this not have that at the end, so I might fix that in the lab real quick. Hold on. Setting up our syslog step 1 text, and that one can have a no dash pager. So now instead of like freezing like that, you do, and then now it drops you right back to a command. So we're gonna do that, so that's out of the way. Get that stupid thing out of the way because that's been bugging me every time I've looked at it. We'll go modify this one. Come on. Come on, system. I swear they're having like some kind of massive like slowdown. In their environment or something. I don't know. Alright. Gonna come down. Oops. Gonna come down here. We'll fix these two so that this is the one that's catching. Yep. And then we'll restart our syslog. And we'll check to make sure that's listening on 514, which it is. Good. And let's say to node 01, and we'll go VI his R syslog, and we're gonna shift G to the bottom and include this line to make the other node the node that we send everything over to. All right. So for all intents and purposes, if we do that, logging is now started, and we should be able to tail var log messages, and we should be able to watch node 01 stuff start to come in over here. Right? This is just a simple lab that we have. Hold on. Yeah, Daft Duck, it's given errors. There's something with these escape characters, because even the sending of it from, there's a problem over here. And since this is a new one, Colchis just updated it. These are coming in wrong. These aren't being passed correctly. So I'm not sure exactly what's going on there. I don't know exactly why they're not being passed correctly, but I can tell you for sure they're not being passed correctly. So that's affecting that a little bit. All right, let me get back to my lab here. I can move that so you guys can see if you want. If you want to keep sending in commands, you can. But anyway, so that's listening, and we see control plane. We should see some node 01 in here if we kind of sit here and watch it for a little bit. It'll pop up. Still control plane, but we'll see node 01. Well, we get SSH over there too, and it should send us the info, but if we just keep an eye on it, it'll happen. All right, so now there's node 01. Okay. Now, this is all stuff that I don't want to have happen. So now I'm going to turn all that off, because I don't want any of this happening for this next part. So I'm going to turn this off. Bang. Well, you know what? Hold on. Press up a few times. Restart it so it's no longer running. And we'll VI our etc rsyslog.conf, and we'll shift G to the bottom, and we'll take this out. Okay, so we don't want any of that anymore. So we turned all that off. We're gonna restart his rsyslog. All right, so now they're both turned back off. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna set up the system to be able to talk with TLS, right? And for that to work, we're gonna set up a generic set of certs, and let's go ahead and let's do it this way. I'm pretty sure we have built into this find from here. See if we can find where that is. Whoops. So everything is down in user lib. Where's the contrib ones? We could use any of these, but trying to think of where I want to put this. I thought there was a general location that these normally showed up in, but I don't see it there. I guess we could just put one anywhere. Normally we put it in a centralized location on like a there's some basic configuration for GNU TLS. Give it one more check. Make sure I don't see it anywhere. Alright, we're just gonna have to make our own. So well, for fun, we'll so it'll just be root certs for this. I'm not really super worried about where the lab ends up having it, but we'll just do root certs for now. That's fine. And let's generate a basic little private key. Cert tool, if we have cert tool, which we should. Nope. Search. Do I not have that? Huh. There we go. So let's grab some of our commands that we're using here. So we had to install this to get our cert, right? We're going to use our cert tool to create this key. Now we've got our CA key, right? Which will be cert tool. Okay. And then from there, we should be able to create a self-signed cert. Right, so we'll use cert tool, and this time we'll generate self-signed load priv key. We're going to use that key that we just made, and then we're going to have an out file of ca.pem, right? So we're going to generate our key, or generate our okay. This is our generating key, right? So make private key. We'll make that cert from it, our self-signed cert, right? And then we're going to generate a new private key. Yep. Okay. Generate a new one of these. Wait a minute. Did we get an error here? We better check our error out real quick. Oh, I think I spelled that wrong. Yeah, priv key. Okay, US, I don't know, AZ, people can do whatever they want. Organization name, right? Organization unit name, I don't know. Doesn't matter. Common name. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I don't know. 30? No. Yes. Yes. I need to alright, whatever. Doesn't matter, doesn't matter. Yes. Oh my gosh, that took a long time. There we go. Alright, let's make sure we have that right. That's the right info there. That's what I get for typing it myself. Select defaults, right? We're okay with the defaults for most all that. All right, and then I'm gonna go and come over here, and we're gonna cert tool and do another one. So we're going to this is not the CA's private key. Got it. Motherfucker. Now we got two of those, right? I do not want it with that on the end. Okay. Now we're going to take this. We're going to generate a certificate request. I'm gonna leave all these think there's a way to just accept all the defaults on that. But all right. Okay. And then the last part that we got to do before we go moving these around to the right places is sign and validate this. So there we go. Don't need that. Oh, 30. I probably should have set that for longer then, because then I'll just leave this all defaults. Oh man. If you don't get all the way to the end, let's go 25. Doesn't really matter for this. But you do have to select the last one. Yes. Alright. So, I want to go here and say set defaults, make date, or make expiration 90 days. And then down here, days, doesn't really matter. Okay. To Brad, how's it going? We are just sitting here working on not really much of anything. Let's say that we want to check what's going on. So we can check what's going on in the cert here. And see information about the cert, which is important, right? See, that's got all that prolog information that we were talking about earlier. All right. Now, which server we're on? We're on the control plane one, so validate. Oops. That's not how we want to do it. We want to use that command we just did. Here. Okay. These get pounded out. So we remember that they're just notes for us. Okay. Okay. Now we're going to configure the TLS in our syslog. Over here. Yeah. So this is the one. This is the one that's going to be shared right here. So on control plane, we're going to set all of these values for. Let's see, our syslog.conf. We're going to come down here to our TCP syslog reception. Actually, we won't even modify any of those ones. We'll go right underneath all of this. So where's our global? Where's our global directives? I see up here. We just shift O at the bottom and say let's add all this custom TLS, right? And we're going to add global. And in here, we're going to set the default NetStream driver GTLS, right? We're going to set the driver CA file is equal to, and then the file here is going to be our full path to root. What do we call that? Certs? I think we're root certs, right? And then ca.pem. This one's going to be the driver, and this is going to be a cert file instead of the ca file, and that's going to be cert.pem. And then we're going to take this one, and it's going to be that's going to be the key file, and we're going to use key.pem. And we're going to take all of those, and we're going to close them up with this. There we go. And then the next part, we're going to have to do the TCP listener. And this module will be the stuff that we're just ignoring up above. Right? So we'll load that. Which again, it's up here, but we're not even going to use it. We're not going to use the one right here. We're going to syslog reception on our own. We're going to do whatever we want down here. What the hell is that doing? Hold on a second. Yeah, it's weird. That's like an extra one. So load that, and then we're going to do stream driver. Name is going to be our GTLS, and our stream driver dot mode will be 1, and then our stream driver dot auth mode is going to be a non. Okay. Then we're going to also switch the listener. Good God, cannot type. I got a little bug landing on my monitor. To type equals IMTCP, and we're going to change that. Whoops. We're going to change port is equal to 6514, which is a common port for that. So now, we're going to say that we added all of this at the bottom. So add. Let's see, syslog. We could technically put that in its own config. That's fine. So add that all to the bottom. And then if that's good, we should be able to restart so how is how's our syslog started? I don't see anything in here. Changes that. check everything in there. Hold on. All right, well, that's a weird. Ah, so it is a syslog user. Okay, okay. Well, let's go put them somewhere else then. Probably better practice to put them somewhere else anyways, so. I guess we could move them. For the purposes of right now, we're just gonna set. What's an easier way to do this? That's fine. That's fine. We'll just change them. We'll move it all to here. That's fine. It's for a lab, so it doesn't really matter where we put them. We'll just fix all these paths right here. Not really super worried about where we put those. Oh, damn it. Oh, damn it. Can't use Control-Shift-R in that window, guys. Damn it. Well, that'll fix me. That'll teach me. This will be Etsy. Etsy. Sorry. This will be user share. User local share. It's fine. That's where we're going to end up putting that. There we go. That's fine. I did not mean to do that. Okay. Alright, well, we got our steps over here, so now we can redo it pretty quickly. So yeah, if anybody's wondering what we're working on today, we're just adding some different labs and we're working through the TLS portion of this lab. And I accidentally I did Control-Shift-R without thinking about it, and it reset my setup. So that's wonderful. Alright, so we gotta redo it. It's not that big a deal. let's do all the pieces. So we got to add the apt-y install gnu tls-bin. So we need those. We don't need that. Going to generate our private key. And then we're going to sign it. And we'll select all the defaults. All the rest can be, 90 days. All the defaults down to the end. Select yes. Okay. Whoops. Now we're going to generate a key from that, or a different private key. This one's different than that one. And generate a new signing request from that key. Can leave all this the same. Okay. And then for each one we can just see that we're making them, and then we're going to sign. I actually don't need that. As long as I have it as one line. Yep, there's our one line. Boom. Good. And then we'll make that just less days than that, so 60. And then leave everything else the same. Oh, god damn it. 60. You gotta accept everything, but on that last one you gotta say yes. Alright, so there's that. And then we're gonna make our PEM from that. Yep. So we can verify everything. And then now we're gonna go add our custom TLS here. So paste that all in. Escape : WQ, systemctl restart our syslog. Status it. Alright, we should see it running. So restart and verify our syslog. That's going to be a simple system CTL restart our syslog, system CTL status our syslog, and then ss-ntulp grep-i for 6514. Right, because that's the port number. Do an ss-ntop and look for everything. Do we see? Huh? Okay, we do got a little bit of a problem somewhere. Must have missed a name or something. Name is GTLS, driver mode is 1, input type IMTCP, port is 6514. All those look correct. Make sure there's nothing conflicting with that. I don't think I have any errors in there. Take a look. Global, NetStream driver, NetStream driver. CA file, cert file, key file. Those all look accurate. Stream driver, name mode and auth mode. Those look right. Make sure I have that GTLS. Maybe that's... maybe. Do I need that? That's something we don't have? But, I mean, we have the base. See if there's anything else with this that we need. Definitely didn't give us any help there. We got the .bin already, so we already got this. I don't think we need any of these other... Not sure. What else I could be missing here? Is there a name for this? Let's look for... See if there's a net stream. Ah, so we don't probably have... Let's see if we have... Okay, so we do need that. Alright, well, makes sense that if we have the right tools, it would be okay. Alright. So that command was here, rsyslog gnutils. Drop that guy up there at the top. Okay, well that might make our life a little easier. Let's restart. Okay. Come on, system. Status. Okay, that looks better. You know what, we don't need any of this over here on the side because we're not using that. All right, now we're listening on 6514. So cool. So we just built all that. Now all we need to do is on the over on node 01, download or install the correct software. So it'll be SSH to node 01, and then we'll do this right here. Boom. Oh. Let's go back to here. I don't know why I had a space in that. We'll go ahead and install the packages that it needs. Make sure that that works. Yep. Looks good. And then we're going to set up the correct client TCP settings. So now for this, we need to, after we've done this last part right here, after we've done the very last part of this, we need this guy right here. The what do we need? We need the ca.pem. So all we're gonna do is configure TLS. So before we do that, we're gonna send push the correct ca.pem over to node 01. That's just going to be an SCP of ca.pem into node 01 at user share local share CA certificates. That's it. Yep. So let's do that real quick. We're always validating our commands as we go, so when we do our notes, we have them for later. Let's paste it. Make sure that, well, it'd help if I'm in the right directory when I do it. Good. I can also do that as an absolute path, which would probably be smarter, because then it doesn't matter where my users find themselves. So I'm just going to do this and do this. That'll be an absolute path. So you're correct no matter where you're at in the system. So that's perfect. All right. So now we're going to set up the correct, on node 01, the correct system. We've installed the packages that we need. So now we're going to VI its etc rsyslog.conf. We're going to shift G to go to the bottom, hit O to go to a new line. And then we're going to add in the settings that we need, and that's going to kind of look like this. So the settings, we're going to say Actually, you know what? We're going to steal from ourselves. Custom TLS. Actually, this can be custom TLS server. And then we're going to steal this for ourselves and say custom TLS client down here. Custom TLS client. Right? And this is going to kind of look like this right here. So let's go write this in here. And we'll come back and steal it for ourselves. The client's going to be global. And the only global one that it needs is the default netstream driver CA file equals. Actually, this is this line. ca.pem right there. So we've got that. And then we can end that on the same line. It doesn't matter. And then we're going to, that by the way, yeah, we're fine here. Action type equals do own forward TCP, that's our protocol. And then our target is going to be control plane, right? Because that's who we're sending to. Our port is equal to 6514, the one that we're using for this. And then we're going to keep adding stream driver equals GTLS. Stream driver mode is equal to 1. And then our stream driver auth mode is equal to anon. Okay. So if we have that, let's write it. And we're just going to grab it all. You know what? Might have to cat it. Have all this. Make sure that that's on the same line. That's very important that that doesn't get put on a different line. That's fine. Restart our syslog. Verify, right? So systemctl restart our syslog. If that's restarted and running without errors. We're fine with that. Let's see real quick. Is it at least running? Yes. And then our log syslog. Give it a second. I'm interested in. It's possible that it's not going to send over, but let's see. So there's system. This is all these ones running still. Technically, we could send logger. We could use logger and just validate it with another. Yeah, I'm only seeing control planes still. I would have expected to see something from them already over on the net side. Control plane. Nothing. Oh, I probably have that spelled wrong. Hold on. What is that letter? Whoops. Gotta zoom this in as much as I can to see. It definitely looks like OMFWD. Definitely looks correct. Oh, hold on. So, on node 01. You also would still need this default. Where is that at? Get over here, I guess. Still need that. And now it's 6514. And that needs to be at, because now we're using TCP. Yep. Are we at least getting them? We're looking for node 01 coming in here. Type protocol target. Control plane. Yeah, I'm not seeing it yet. At control plane 6514 to send. So that should send everything to control plane on 6514. That one should allow that to go that way. That's global. Yeah, I mean that. Going forward, protocol TCP target is control plane. Port 6514. Stream driver is GTLS. Yep. Stream driver mode is 1. Stream driver auth mode is a non. Yeah, it all looks. Default netstream driver CA file. Yeah. So what's going on with this rsys log? It doesn't like this built-in OMFWD. This is resumed. We don't need the certificate or the key file for this side of the equation. We just need to be able to talk. So why is this not? k.m. All right. Okay. Yeah, I do know pager a lot too to bread. Huh. So it looks like, I mean, it does look like that's running, but I just think I have something else either misconfigured or let's see. I wouldn't do any of these because I'm not catching anything. So I just want my action. And this is just my control plane. I guess I don't actually need the 514 when I'm all done. Oh, I probably need to put it. Actually, I think I see what my problem is. Even if I had this right, I set up the certs a little haphazardly, so this isn't going to send anyways. But no fear. That means that I can just keep working on this, and I think I'll be good. This isn't gonna take it just yet, but I think I know what I did wrong. Yeah. I think I got what's going on here at least. So, well, on the plus side, that part of that lab is set now and almost ready to build. So I have one more. I have to fix this lab from yesterday still, and then I have to set up this this one. So I've got this one to build still, and then I've got one other one to do, which is going to be essentially these same things, but it's going to be with a tool called Loki that we use sometimes in here. So we'll use Loki and have Promtail send information over. Shaft, you said your friend had an interview with a quant firm. I don't even know what a quant is. Is that? I mean, I guess I've heard the term quant as far as like, percentage, but or location on a histogram or something. But I don't know what that is for a. What do you say? Trading production engineer. Nice. eDiskit. You asked me what keyboard I use. I just use a little mechanical keyboard. I can tell you the brand. The brand is up in the Discord somewhere. Yeah, somebody wanted to know the brand of the keyboard. I think the keyboard I use is up. Maybe in Home Lab chat. Maybe. I might have it up here. Somebody might have asked me about that before. Like what type of keyboard I'm using. Yeah, if I don't have it right here, then I might not have ever posted it. Somebody asked me to see this. I could have sworn at some point somebody asked me something about that, and I don't think I don't remember. I don't remember. We talk about keyboards all the time, but see if I get anything with my keyboard on here. Yeah, we was talking about keyboards a while back. I think I posted something. I don't have something like this. I had a system like this when I was a kid. It has a little TI system, Texas Instruments. See what 4 looks like. Yeah, I don't have. People have posted their different keyboards, but no, I guess I never posted mine. I thought I did. I guess I can go find it if anybody's really interested. It's just it's like mid-range, mid to low-end, like mechanical keyboard. There's nothing special about it. I didn't build anything too special with it, so. VT102. Oh, I don't even know. Let me pull up. I want to go grab that keyboard real quick, just because it was asked. Go grab my. Let's go find. Yeah, this is the. Let me see. Hold on. Yeah, that's fine. That's the one. Just some middle of the road, low end. You know, nothing special. Keyboard. It's got colors. I ordered one for the wife too. Nothing special, but it works fine. I wouldn't spill anything on it. Not on purpose, anyways. They got blue switches. They're pretty good little. But one non-negotiable for me on keyboards is I have to have a numpad. I don't care anything else really, but I have to have a numpad over here. Yeah. This is the one I use. Nothing great. Just a Ryso Phi mechanical gaming keyboard, like, so not any high end, not any $600. I know people that like have multiple $600 keyboards. I don't spend money like that on keyboards. There's other places for me to spend money, but not on keyboards. I mean, I want a decent one, but like I don't need it to be like crazy over the top. So anyways, that's it. That's the keyboard. Yeah, it works for what we need. What else do we got here? Mostly, is this not flipping anymore? You know, mostly we've got what's going on in the group. You know, we're up in unit 9 now, so we're gonna be doing Docker this week. and we're in Unit 9 over here, so we're going to be doing all the certificate and key madness stuff. So we're going to be looking at generating certificates and what we're doing with certificates. So it'll be good. Brad, you bought 3 mechanical keyboards with different switches. You hated them. Went back to $12 Logitech. Yeah. I have used high-end keyboards and been like, I have been no more happy with those than I have with mid-range or low-end. So, I mean, it's, you know, it's what we call in engineering a diminishing return, right? Like, so I had a buddy who, he had a, he worked for a, he and I actually both worked in satellites at the same time. I worked at Lockheed Martin and he worked over at like General Dynamics or something, but he had this thing on his desk that was a $930,000 mistake. It was like this big paperweight, and it was part of a gyro that they had carved and then not ended up using. But it was funny because like then he and I got to talking about it, and my project worked with a lot of low Earth orbit LEO type satellites. And with LEO satellites, they used to try to make them. This is actually a really interesting thing to think about in engineering. Some people are trying to build the best and fastest and strongest and newest, you know, thing, right? Like they're trying to build whatever. But that's not what they're doing over in satellites. Like a low Earth orbit satellite's going to come out of the atmosphere in 5 to 7 years at the high end. If they have a really high burn rate getting into original position, it might only be up there 3 years. So anyways, all that to say, if you know that it's that bad, right? If you know that, not that bad, but if you know that a part doesn't need to be able to work for 30 years, it just needs to be able to survive over 3 years, well, then you only build parts for, you know, a 5-7 year life cycle, and they're going to make it. So anyways, this part that was on my friend's desk, this $930,000 error that they had made, they found out that they could just take that part and make it for $30,000, and it would be a longer life cycle still. It would still last and be warrantyable, if you want to think of it like that, longer than the 5 to 7 years that system was up there. So anyways, my point in that is, why would you make something that was super precision and super durable and everything for 30 plus years if you know that the thing is going to break down? And then you get into like auto manufacturing and stuff, and you realize that nobody's trying to build the best thing. They're trying to build the best thing that works for exactly as long as the warranty. And that's not, guys, that's not like me being some kind of weird, like, that's not like some, what the hell's that word I'm looking for? Conspiracy? There's mathematicians I know that go and do that. They left college and went and worked for those companies building warranties to make sure that parts lasted exactly as long as they're supposed to and no longer. Because you got to keep people buying cars. You can't build cars that last for 100 years. What the hell would you do that for? Doesn't make any sense, right? You need people buying cars. Same thing with updates forced on your phone, right? You gotta force updates. Got to get people to obsolete their hardware. That's all. I mean, that's always been true, though. Obsolescence of hardware by updates. That's always been true. And that's not even, I mean, again, go look that up. That's a real thing. So, and I said obsolescence, whatever. My closed captioning doesn't know what I'm saying over here. So, yeah. So what am I building though today? We were building labs. We're not really doing much over here. This is just you guys being able to interact with the system if you wanted to. There's a bunch of commands that you can use if you want to interact with the system. And then I have a fair amount of work to do on some college stuff later. I graded everything, so that was kind of good. Bread reminds you of the Phoebus cartel, planned obsolescence of manufacture and sale of incandescent light. Yeah. I mean, that's not even like people might think that's a conspiracy theory. There's whole branches of mathematics that feed into that. I mean, I literally know people that do that right now. Like mathematicians that left other type of engineering to go build. I'm telling you, nobody's trying to build a part that lasts 30 years in a car that they only have a life cycle for like 5 years. Why would they, if the warranty is only good for 5 years, they want it to break on the 5th year and first day? That's how warranties work. A lot of math and a lot of engineering goes into not making things the best they can. But also that keeps costs down too, right? Because like they can then predict and that kind of stuff. But like I said, my buddy had that part on his desk that was like $930,000. It's just a paperweight. It was literally a paperweight on his desk that they couldn't remanufacture. They could melt it down and redo it, but it would cost that same amount to rebuild, remachine, and do all that stuff. But they realized they didn't need that. They just needed most of the gyroscopes that used to go up in satellites. They lasted long. I worked on a satellite program. They thought that satellite was going to be up there for like 7 years, and it had been up there 30 years. This one program that I was on. And the satellite was still kicking in the early 2000s, and it had been up there a long time. And it was still taking images and still working. This was like 2000, like into the 2010s almost. And it was still up there kicking, still up there doing stuff. The older ones wouldn't have worked because they used to actually drop film. Most people don't know that. Satellites used to have film on them. They would take a bunch of pictures and then drop film canisters, which I think is wild, but that's true. That is how they used to do it. But no, like even with the more modern ones that would send stuff down over the signals, the interesting thing about that is there was one that had lasted way longer than they ever thought. And on a modern one, it wouldn't have lasted that long, because on a modern one, they've determined we're going to, make things more cheaply. I'm not going to make a $90,000 part if I can make a $30,000 part, and if it's going to do the same function for the time I need it to, right? So, yeah. So that's definitely there. Yeah, we're not working too hard though. Besides that. Yeah, to bread, that's true. Yeah, I always say that about nines is every time you add another 9 on the end, you add another 0 on the cost. Yeah. So if something costs $100,000 to get to, like, let's say 3 nines, it's going to cost $1 million to get it to that 4th 9. And it's going to cost, you add another 0, it's going to cost $10 million to get it to that 5th 9. And I think I've told you guys, the government systems I work on very rarely are trying to go for like multiple 9s. What you can do, you can actually be much cheaper. You can go like 98.5 and then have a separate system. So let's pull this up real quick, because people are going to be like, what the fuck's this guy talking about? High availability. Wikipedia. It's right here, in case you guys have never seen this. But some of you are going to be like, what the hell is this guy talking about 9s? Well, what Tabret is talking about, and then what I'm talking about is this chart right here, which is your 9s of availability, right? 1 9, 195, 2 9s, 3 9s, 4 9s is 99.9% uptime. So over the course of a year, with 4 9s, you only have 52 minutes of unscheduled downtime on a system, right? Well, 5 9s is 5.26 minutes. And these are like extreme, like to push from this to this right here, to push from 52 minutes to 5.26 minutes is another 0 on the end of your project. So if this was 10 million, this is 100 million. And I'm not exaggerating that, that's true. But what I tend to build, and this is government stuff, is right in here. 98, we go for 98.5. So 98.5 will be, close. It's close in between these. So about 5 days of downtime, maybe. We go for about 98.5. And then with that, like, let's say I have one, like, let's just say on average, like $50 million system. And then I just put another $50 million system next to it. And then I just hope that those 3 days that they're down never align with each other. Kind of like, you ever seen the old Tron game? You ever seen this old Tron game, the old Tron game? And you used to throw this disc at the final boss. And in the final boss room, there was this. Hold on, let's see if we can find the final boss. He had the spinning. Where the hell's he at? Hold on. Final boss circles. Let's see if we can find it. There was this final boss, and you would throw. Where the hell's he at? Somebody's got him somewhere. Anyways, he had like these circled windows. And if you could throw it through and get it through all the circles when they lined up, you could hit the boss. This isn't exactly it. But see if we can find one like a circle game. Anyways, the point is it would have these circles around the boss. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it was Tron. But anyways, then yeah. So the point is you would just hope that the two instances of downtime never went over each other, and the probability of that happening is pretty low. Is it Discs of Tron? Is that what the name was called? Yeah. That it? Yeah, but I swear there was a final boss that was like surrounded. I don't remember. It was so long ago since I played any of this. Like literally, almost 40 years. Anyways, doesn't matter. Yeah, so that's kind of the. I should find one of those to be able to show that. But anyways, yeah, then you can go and you can calculate, how much downtime do you, want to be able to accept. Furthest I've ever seen a system reasonably put is 5 nines. All this stuff down here is maybe theoretical, maybe in your networking space with multiple redundant links, maybe you're hitting these in some network space. But I'm on the system engineering platform side, and this is much more reasonable to see. But you have to have a lot of stuff in place to even attempt at this. And I'll tell you, most government stuff is like here. We go 98.5, which is right in between these. And 98.5 with 2 systems causes a redundancy factor that tends to not. We'd do the math on that, but a 3.5 sliding, or let's say a 4-day sliding window and another 4-day sliding window, the probability of them occurring at the same time over 365 days is, without even pulling out a calculator, that's, if they're chosen at random, under 1%, right? At random. So, that's at random. If we assume that we can take downtime separate, and yeah, there's some other stuff in there, but I've never worked on a system like that has 3. In fact, we're going there with one of the NOAA projects. We're going to be going, instead of having 2 systems at this, we're going to 3 data centers at that. That's one of the bids that's coming out, but yeah, something to think about. Just something to play with, and who knows. Alright. Well, shoot. I guess we'll get back to working on these things later, but I do need to get off here soon because the wife's coming home, so we'll be really busy down in the Discord. Haven't even hardly mentioned Discord today, but we have a bunch of events coming up. You guys can go hang out. The next one coming up is there's a security engineer study group in 33 minutes. I think the guys are probably getting down in there now. You're welcome to go hang out down in there. Here's the Discord if anybody needs it. Discord is free. Go hang out with other guys that are doing similar stuff to you. And then there's a bash study group tomorrow. That one's getting pretty big and popular. And then we've got the Linux sysadmin course. That's tomorrow at 3. If you look at it in your time, it'll show it in your time. If you look at it on your Discord. Tomorrow at 5 for me will be the Linux security engineering course. And then we've got the writer's room on Sunday where people work on the actual books. We have free books that you guys can use for all that. And then there's some more study courses throughout the week. Study course, project intensive, because everybody's working on their project. And then we've got the ProLug annual conference coming up too in August. You guys can think about coming to that. None of that stuff costs anything. You can just go hang out and do stuff down there if you want. Here's the welcome. The bot will always welcome you, and the bot is not super nice. In fact, the bot treats you like an old Unix admin, so it kind of talks some trash to you, especially if you ask it the wrong type of questions. Like if you ask it why Linux is better than Unix, it might yell at you a little bit, which is kind of funny and appropriate. But if you ask it like, hey, like how do I, do whatever, it'll help you out. It'll just be real rude about it. So that's Fisherman's responsible for that, so you can yell at Fisherman if you want. He's one of the mods in there. So all right. What else are we doing? Yeah, security stuff. We're going to do certificates this week. That'll be fun, playing with certificates, reading about them, generating them and that kind of stuff, and probably do some SSH key stuff because it's similar cryptography, even though it's kind of different, but it's the same asymmetric type keying that's important. Let's go look at this. This is stable. Hold on, I want to go look at this. Stable. Okay. All right. So Enterprise Linux 9, and then they're going to have the source, and then you're going to be able to go in there and find the theoretically the zone minder in there. Stable releases. Yeah, there we go. So if you need any of those RPMs, you can get them. ZoneMinder also released, in case you guys didn't know, ZoneMinder is released as a Docker image. I don't see it on here. I don't know why they don't have that, but I've definitely seen their Docker image before. Let's go. I'm looking at this. Maybe it's unsupported. Alright, so they do have an image for you to use here. It's our Docker Compose. GHCR. Okay. That's where they're pulling it from. If you want the test one. CI latest for ZoneMinder. Okay. Interesting. All right. Yeah, that's where you guys can grab ZoneMinder if you want. We were just talking about ZoneMinder earlier for stuff like watching Ranger without having to write your own stuff and do your own configs for Grafana. You know, nobody got time for all that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Yeah, so there's all this stuff. We're doing Docker this week. Yeah, Docker should be fun. Maybe I'll even throw some curveballs in the live lesson for that. There's a recorded one of all this is recorded already up on YouTube. So if anybody wants to start our course and do that recorded, but we're doing live sessions every Saturday, and we're all the way up through 9 now. So I'll be meeting with you guys and doing the Docker one tomorrow for people that want to do it. Then we're going to keep moving through. Should be fun. Then we got the key and certificate stuff. Which I gotta get on top of that. I'm building the labs as we speak. It's just kind of going slow. So, all right. Well, we don't have enough people to raid, so we'll just we'll drop here. But I appreciate everybody coming by. We got most of the stuff we needed to. We didn't really have anything super important today that we needed, but we got most of the things we needed to done. So again, if anybody wants to hang out down the Discord, you can. You're always welcome to be down there, and you'll find more conversation and working with other engineers down there. So, all right, talk to you guys later. Take care.